Joel. The cattle drive is going to take place in just a few minutes. And the cattle drive is going to be narrated for you by the great Barry Corbin. If you don't know who Barry is, well, if you've ever seen the movie No Country for Old Men, Barry has what a lot of people say is the best scene in that movie. So look that up, Barry Corbin. And he's going to narrate it. So the cattle are probably going to walk right by you. I say probably because in the 11 plus years that I've been working down here doing historical walking tours and doing what I'm doing right now, I have seen Longhorns run down the street. I've seen them go up on the sidewalk during the cattle drive to get leaves, acorns, run up alleys, run inside buildings, things like that. So it does happen. So right now, if you're seated on the curb, you're fine. But in just a few minutes, the good people will be asking everybody to please be in a standing position if you're up by the street. Nobody's sitting on the curb. Nobody's standing in the street, that type of thing. We figured out a long time ago it's easier to run if you're standing up. They are big, huge animals. Some of them weigh over 2,000 pounds, and they all have long horns. That's the name. So for safety, we'll be standing up. Along with that, I do have some things to read here verbatim, just to kind of nail all that down. As the cattle drive begins, we ask you to remain in a standing position on the curb. Please do not slip into the street as the cattle are coming down. We also ask that you do not lean down to take a photo. Please remain on the curb until the cattle are completely off the street. We will be opening the street back up for traffic right after the cattle drive. And also, if you have a dog, and if that dog is here with you today, that's a key part of it, please keep them under control and on a leash. All right, also, if you have a cell phone, pull it out. The Fort Worth Stockyards mobile app is officially out for download. Explore over 40 restaurants, 50 shops, and endless attractions and entertainment venues, or prepay for parking, snag rodeo tickets on the fly, and engage with our virtual guides for personalized assistance. Download today. All right, just a couple more announcements, and then we're going to find out why we do the cattle drive here twice a day in Fort Worth. So, don't miss the PBR Stockyards Showcase tonight at 7:30 p.m. right here at the Cowtown Coliseum. PBR is bull riding, of course. Great seats are still available. Get your tickets at the Coliseum box office. And head over to the Pendleton Bar on the Exchange Launch for mixed drinks, ice cold beer, and more. And go up to the Visitor Center over here. The good people there will help you find what you're looking for. That's in that booth over there on the lawn of the Exchange building. So, you might be asking yourselves, why do we do the cattle drive twice a day in Fort Worth, Texas? That is a fair question, so we'll address that. Fort Worth has a lot of really cool nicknames. We're only going to briefly talk about 4 of those nicknames. One nickname for Fort Worth is Where the West Begins. And the history of that goes back to Sam Houston. Another nickname for Fort Worth is City of Cowboys and Culture. A lot of people are not aware that Fort Worth, Texas is the 12th largest city in the United States of America, population-wise. Another nickname for Fort Worth, Panther City. Of course, that's a great name for a town. Cool history of that. The best known nickname for Fort Worth is Cowtown. Right here on Exchange Avenue where we have the Cowtown Coliseum. PBR, bull riding there tonight, rodeos, just about every Friday and Saturday there. The Major League Baseball had their draft a couple weeks ago inside the Coliseum. So, where did Cowtown come from? Well, after the Civil War, the economy in Texas was wrecked, destroyed. We did not have a lot of jobs or assets. We did have one asset that was millions of Longhorn cattle way down in South Texas. And it just so happened the North, way up that way, had pretty much used up their beef in the war effort. For every 6 people they had up north at that time, they had about 1 cow. At the same time, though, in South Texas, for every 1 person we had about 6 cows. Down there at that time, a cow was worth about $4. But if you get that cow from down there, south of San Antonio, up to Austin, up to Waco, up to Fort Worth, through downtown Fort Worth, across the Trinity River, and into the Creek Valley here where we all are. There were no buildings here really at that time, and then get another 400 plus miles all the way to Abilene, Kansas, where the railroads already were. If you could do that, you could usually sell that $4 cow for as much as 40. So economics, supply in the south, demand in the north, the cattle drive took place through here. It's basically I-35 west today. It's called the Chisholm Trail. Now I-35 does scoot around the Stockyards. It's about 1.5 miles east of here. But here in the Stockyards, we're in the heart of that over 800-mile trail. There are markers along the trail. One of them's over here in the RFD line that says Chisholm Trail. Still, you might say, so what? Why do you do the cattle drive twice a day? Well, the cattle drives that came through here after the war brought back the economy that had been destroyed and also stamped the cowboy culture on Texas. And Fort Worth was the most important stop on that most important trail. You had all those cities we mentioned south of here, within nothing of population from here, all the way to Abilene, Kansas, the second half of the trail. So they would push it through town, across the Trinity River, into the Creek Valley. They would take turns going back into Fort Worth as they held the cattle in this area for 3, 4, maybe 5 days while they resupplied, rested up, partied a lot in Fort Worth. The cowboys, cowgirls, drovers would take turns going back into Fort Worth and party. Fort Worth was the craziest of all the Wild West towns you've heard about. Give examples. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid made a big mistake in Fort Worth and led to them deciding that they needed to leave the country, which is what they did. You also had the Earps around here. On 3 different occasions, the winter months were spent by White Earp and several of the other Earps that lived in Fort Worth. You had Bat Masterson here, Doc Holliday. In 1883, in the Taylor Sheridan film, 1883, Billy Bob Thornton played a real person named Jim Courtright. Jim Courtright was a crooked sheriff in Fort Worth. So all this we're talking about here is the core of the history here. Now things happen for centuries, the history around here that link up to that, and things happen afterwards, but what we're talking about right now is the core of that history, and I hope all that information is helping you understand why we do the cattle drive twice a day in Fort Worth, Texas. Hope that helped. Thank y'all.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Everybody say you have a little buddy Crichton. There's Crichton down there. Crichton the Titan. You know, like Michael
Crichton the Titan.
Jurassic Park. That's Crichton. What first name? That's a cool first name. Anyway, Crichton's a human being. His co-worker though is Shooter, Longhorn steer. Down here we have Lance, an outlaw. Lance is another great human being. There he is down there. He's kind of being quiet today, but that's okay.
No, I don't.
Not feeling too good. We'll meet him anyway. The outlaw is his co-worker. 2 bovines, 2 human beings. And how cool is that? Crew of 4, did y'all meet for breakfast today?
Yes, we did.
Who bought that breakfast? Shooter. That's so nice of him. He picked up the check, huh? Where's he keep his wallet?
Under the saddle.
Under the saddle. What kind of wallet does he have?
Shark skin.
Shark skin? Not cowhide? Oh, sorry. No. All right, go with that. At the meeting, anything else was decided people need to know about?
Today's day only. It's free to get up on Shooter.
Crichton says it's free to get on Shooter. Lance, is it free to get on Outlaw? It's free, he said. It's free. That is so awesome. Anything else people need to know about?
It is $10 to come on down.
Oh, it's free to get on. It's $10 to get down. That's called Texas math, marketing, shell game, that kind of thing. Bait and switch, that kind of thing, man. That's what it's called. All right, fantastic. Welcome to Stockyards. The cattle's going to, cattle, that's the term, cattle are going to walk right by you, unless they run. You have a mechanical bull down here. You have next to that the Maze TV show, the Amazing Race using Phil is on the mat down there. How cool is that? Trail rides, you can ride a horse here on the Chispa Trail. Petting zoo, shopping restaurant, Stockyard Station, Real Alley, Land Exchange, PBR tonight in the Cowtown Coliseum. Billy Bob's Texas, great local fair here. Everybody know that works here is happy to help you find what you're looking for. So just ask me, ask Keith out here standing here, we're going to try to help you.
And go right
That's
back
the
up
way
that
we
way.
are. You're a guest here. Thanks for coming today. So on the cattle drives, you had a lot of different cultures coming through. A lot of German, Czechoslovakian, Polish immigrants coming from the hill country through here on the cattle drives. A lot of Mexican vaqueros, Mexican cowboys, and at least 25% of the drovers were African American. You don't really see this depicted all the time in movies and things like that, but that's the way it was. It's the melting pot for a lot of reasons around here. By the way, the German, Czech, and Polish immigrants are the roots of something called Central Texas barbecue, which is a lot of great barbecue in Texas. We all know that, and that's where Central Texas barbecue comes from. It's awesome. Also, when you're watching the cattle drive, look for certain cattle. Goodnight and Chisholm have the longest horns. All of these cattle you're going to see today are steers, surgically altered males. When they become a steer, their horns grow longer, faster, and twistier, if that's a word. And their horns are over 10 feet from tip to tip. Signed by the Maze says Longhorns like me have a span of 4 to 6 feet. That's pretty accurate for bulls, cows, and heifers, but Goodnight and Chisholm are over 10 feet. And you can tell looking at it, the horns go out and down and they flap away out. Also, look for Little Tex. He'll probably be in the back. Why is he called Little Tex? Well, he's what's called a miniature. Little Tex is full grown, but he weighs about 750 pounds. Your average Longhorn weighs about 1,500. Some of them weigh even more than 2,000. So he's a little guy. Guess what? He doesn't put up with any kind of abuse from any of these Longhorns. He's a tough guy, too. And that's one of the reasons why I really like him a lot. He's cute, but he's tough. You know, it's a pretty good combination. So look for all that. Longhorns are amazing animals. Also, you have little ponies over here. Rumor has it one of them can sing. That's pretty cool. One of them can sing. And rumor has it he's not going to sing today. You know why? Because he's a little horse. So he's probably not going to sing. Where are you from? If you're from Fort Worth, throw your hand up, yell something nice. Fort Worth, 1, 2, 3.
Howdy, cowboys and cowgirls, and welcome to the Fort Worth Herd Cattle Drive. I'm Barry Corbin. Once upon a time, the stockyards, right where you're standing, was filled with cattlemen and cowhands. Cattle were driven by men and women on horseback called drovers, with wide-brimmed hats and dirt on their boots. 150 years ago, this was their last stop before the Longhorn, over 500 miles of rugged land to Kansas. Fort Worth was the drovers' last chance to buy supplies, enjoy a good meal, and kick up their heels before months of beans and hardtack and sleeping under the stars. Today you'll catch a glimpse of that fast, but the herd is more than a spectacle. It's a reminder of Fort Worth's Western heritage, of the cowboy grit and rugged independence so ingrained in the Texas spirit. That spirit is still here, and you are a part of it. So be sure and tip your hat and say howdy as the Texas Longhorns pass by with our drovers. In the stockyards, every day is a new adventure, and it starts right here with the Fort Worth Herd.